Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Know 360 show hosted by me, Annette, the warm hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high achieving business owners and music artists who share with our audience the importance of building a strong community of like minded individuals on the road to greater success.
Awesome.
Today's show is a collaboration between In the Know 360 and Jamie B. JBB is the founder of Born Leaders Network. Welcome, JBB.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I never say I'm the founder. I am the co-founder. I feel like God is the creator. God is the founder. And it's basically me and my brother who started Born Leaders Network, Levante Smith.
Okay. And may I ask, who is Jamie B?
Jamie B is a 30-year-old woman from Watts, California that decided to start a podcast in the middle of the pandemic, um, to showcase talent from the West Coast, to show how talented we are musically, entrepreneurship, just to show our talents.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I'm getting to know a lot of West Coast folks out there. and
Oh, okay.
yeah, shout out to all the West Coast folks. I know Monster Yo um, and
Free
Mr.
Monster Yo.
Vega. Yes, free Monster Yo. You got that right. And so you started this Born Leaders Network during the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
And and who or what inspired you to start this podcast? You said your brother.
it really was my brother. He seen potential in me. He's seen that, like, I love music, I love art. um I'm a ball of energy, and he said, man, your personality will go great with podcasting. Let's do a podcast. And I was so down to do it. I was nervous, but I was excited to do it. I honestly was.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the clip with your podcast, but then also with Mr. Vega, and I really enjoyed it. I'm happy that you're here with us today. So we have several questions.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So can you recall the exact moment that you knew you wanted to become this podcaster, besides the time that your brother recognized it in you?
um in all honesty, maybe around August Fest. Shout out to my boy Sean August. He has a festival in his name called August Fest. That's his last name, August, and we do it in August. And
Oh,
he said,
wow.
yeah, um, he said, come down to the festival, and I want you to interview people, just like a
Hmm.
street team. And at that time, I was still eager to do the podcast, but I was slowing down. I was just focusing on being a mom and working and saving. And once I did that, as far as like the street side of podcasting, just walking up to people and talking to them, I actually loved it. And I seen the feedback, like people was asking him, like, you gotta have her back, you gotta have her back. So I was like, wow, this is my calling. Like, and I
Mhm.
started taking it serious, and I just went like serious, straightforward, like going
Mhm.
hard in the paint. August 19th, 2023.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. It looks like Kayla Jackson is on.
That's my friend. Shout out to Kayla Jackson.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Okay, cool. So August Fest. And I love August. The reason why I love August is because that's my birthday month.
Oh, okay, great, great. That's dope.
Shout out to the Leos.
Oh,
um,
Leo's big Leo.
so what challenges have you faced during your journey in becoming this podcaster?
um, I was not as far as computer savvy, as far as like editing and sound effects. Like at first, my brother was doing all of that. And I didn't want to put the pressure on my brother to do my podcast and his podcast. So I started like editing myself, and
Oh.
that's a challenge for me. Like, I have another podcast called A Little Bit of This, A Little Bit of That, and
Mhm.
Kayla is on there. And those 2 episodes that she's on, that was my first time really editing. So I'm proud of that. That was my challenge, most definitely.
Okay. Oh, I definitely feel your pain on the whole editing process.
Yeah. I am not savvy when it comes to that at all. I still call my friend Damo, like, Damo, how you do this? How you do that? Yeah, it's challenging. That's challenging.
But at the end, it's rewarding because you get to learn the intricate details of editing and then maybe even movie production. You never know with these skills how where I'll take you. So yeah.
You know what I'm focused on? I am focusing on learning to edit and being an expert at editing. And when someone asks me to teach them, I'm going to teach them.
Yeah.
Nobody showed me how to edit. I went to YouTube University, and I feel
Hmm.
like it's like a formula that nobody wants to disclose. Like, what's wrong with showing people how to edit?
Right. No, I think that's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
And
yes.
how have you persevered despite these challenges?
Um, No risk, no reward. I love the challenge. I get bored when things are too easy. I get very
Mm,
bored. So I like a challenge. So if you look on my page, it's like I'm constantly doing something, and it's not to annoy you. I'm challenging myself. Only person I'm in competition with is me. So
that's
yeah.
right. I love it. I love it. And what was your best collaboration?
Uh my best collaboration. I feel like Uh, my favorite interview of all times will be with Black Lotus. I built a
Oh,
great relationship with him. He's a producer from LA. Anybody you've heard from LA, he's produced.
oh
Um
wow.
my second one is Glasses Malone. I just slid in his DM, and he had me to come to a studio 2 hours away from Los Angeles, and I did it. A multi superstar, very talented, smart. Like, you want me to come and interview you? And yeah, he allowed me to interview him. So shout out to Glasses Malone, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, shout out to Glasses Malone and Black Lotus, right?
Yeah, Black Lotus. Shout out to Black Lotus, man. Sean August. I am Sean August too. Shout out to Sean August. Anything I need, he makes sure I'm good.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So I
That's dope.
appreciate him too.
So name three podcasters that you would love to collaborate with, besides the one that you've mentioned.
Um, Gina Views. She
Okay.
has a thing called Whole Sessions. She's from LA. Shout out
Huh.
to Gina Views. Lady Michelle.
Hmm.
I think it's called Liddy T, if I'm not mistaken. And I just did a collab with Justice Jackson. Plugged in podcast. So yeah, those three I would love to collaborate again.
Oh, okay. Kayla said Nikki. Who's Nikki?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I was gonna sing that old school song from the '80s, but we'll save that
Yeah,
for later.
I, yeah, I don't know who's. Oh, she probably want me to collaborate with Nicki Minaj, I guess.
Oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha.
But I'm
Oh,
big on, like I said, I'm big on like West Coast. Like, I'm big on
ah,
representing us. And nothing's wrong with collaborating with different artists from different states. But
mhm.
like I said, my main goal is to show everybody how talented the West Coast is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she said Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Mhm, I'm pretty
that's
sure.
that's so cool.
Mhm.
What steps do you take when creating your content?
Um, well, I have three podcasts. So we'll talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We
Okay.
literally talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That is really, it's really a real life conversation. Like, if you having men problems, or you probably want to know how men think, you'll come up with
Uh-huh.
a question, and I'll come up with a group of questions, and we just talk about it. I really want, like,
Mm.
this podcast is really like a group of friends just talking, just discussing real life um drama, or real life, just
Mm.
real life in general, like what happens in real life and our real life opinions.
That's dope. Yeah, definitely.
I have a question on our latest, a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Mhm.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that with Kayla. We talk about, would you date a man with, right now, your age, your kids, what, 19, 10, and 9, I think, or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Would you date a man at your age and your kid's age that has a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old?
A 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. Would I date a man my age, right?
Yeah, yeah, your age. And
Uh-huh.
your kids is 19, and they can take care of themselves, they can fend for themselves. Would you
Hmm.
date a man with kids?
I would consider dating a man with kids. I mean, it just depends on the dynamic. Like, I think for me, it's funny you mentioned this because I'm being put in a spot. I love it.
Oh, my bad.
That's all good. um, it just depends, right? It just depends on, for me personally, I have to be energetically, if that makes sense, and
Yeah,
spiritually intertwined. We have to see eye to eye on that note, because without having, I believe I'm spiritual too, so God and the universe, having God centered, um anything can happen. So and just the dynamic between the past relationship. So basically, in a nutshell, how is the dynamic between the mother of his children and him? you know
why is that so I mean, I know that's important, but that's what everybody asks. How is the dynamic? Let's just say real life, we're going through real life. They're probably just a year, just broke up a year ago, and it's rocky then, and he meets you. So they're in that, today is good, tomorrow's bad.
yeah, yeah. That's real talk. I mean, it's real life, right?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people. So this is my thing. It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine, right, about why people get married, why people get in in relationships, period, right? Because
Okay.
it's easier to be single, right, than being in a relationship, because then you have all these other responsibilities, including your personal space and personal
Yes.
responsibilities. So I I know I'm probably like, you have to think logically too, right?
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest with you, love, right? So love is thrown out the window these days, right? Like, truly, I don't know. I mean, I think that you can still love a person unconditionally, right? Just like your kids, but it's difficult to meet somebody in that sense, in that mind frame, because everybody is, what's in it for me,
Yeah.
because the ego tops the spirit all the time, right? So there's not a lot of selfless people out here, and
Gotcha.
I think and the communication point of it all, right? So yeah, you're going through all these trials and tribulations, but if you find somebody that is grounded, that thinks outside of the box, thinks put themselves in his shoes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way I like to look in life. Putting myself in the individual's shoes and seeing how he's doing, right, and being selfless in that perspective, because that's what relationships supposed to be about. That's love, right? So
Agree.
yeah, so you're talking it out, hey babe, I think maybe we could do this, or if she needs help, or if she needs whatever support, that's your kids. You're part of the whole what is the word, the global, it's a global thing. It's not just you anymore. It's you, him, his kids, his
Agree.
his ex. Because the thing about it is, I think a lot of people try to like cut off, right? Like, oh, the lady is not part of the dynamic, but she is. The mother of the children is part of the dynamic.
And now that you break it down like that, I never thought about it like that because I date women. So I used to think like I'm not dating your partner, because women, there's a lot of women that have kids by other women. I know it sounds crazy, but there's two moms in the household.
Oh, I have
So,
a I have a I mean, Kachel, I have a neighbor. They're both ex-Marines, or one is still active. They got two kids. So
oh, I love
yeah.
it. So with that being said, I never thought about the person I'm dating um kid's mom. I did never cared about it. But now that you break it down like that, it is like everybody plays a
Yeah.
part. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a movie, right? Because like when you go on a movie production, you got all these, you got the actors, you got the producers, you got directors, you got the
Mhm.
coffee person, you got the dress up person, you got the makeup person. Everybody, is cohesive. It's a cohesive teamwork.
Agree.
And I think, personally, right? I think, and I'll tell you a little sidebar story about my situation, but I think that's what's missing is the big picture of it all, because you can't compartmentalize people, humans. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Agree.
And
Agree.
so for instance, for my situation, I'm divorced, and so basically we switch out the kids every other week. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and then so like we do weekly, right? Every Friday, like he'll have them or I'll have them. Um, but I love the wife, like he's remarried. And so people are like, "Girl, you're crazy," and I'm like, "No, this is
Right.
it's." So this is I know this is crazy. It's kind of like an avatar, right? So we're in this husk, right, in this human form, but
Yeah.
our energy is in this husk. So if you take your husk away and just look at it from an energy standpoint, there are other energies, right?
Yeah. Agree.
So and when we leave this this planet, we're energy. So
Agree.
it doesn't really matter. Like right, right. This is what I don't understand with people. Like right now, our my mom used to always tell me, "You're temporary on this planet. We're all waiting for a number." Okay.
Agree.
When we leave, the drama don't matter anymore.
I
So
agree.
it's how do you want to live your life, right? How do you want to like go against the grain all the time, or do you want to live it happily? Do you want to
And I'm
live it
pretty sure
joy?
everybody would answer live happy.
Yeah. So and it's like if it don't matter, don't mind it, or don't mind, don't matter. Like that's my take. Like don't let the don't sweat the small stuff, right? Because it is small, but we make it into this big humongous thing that is not necessary. At the end of the day, you want to sleep good, right? You want to sleep
Yeah,
well, like
I agree.
so that's just my, and I went all over the world, but his wife and I, we get on great. She has two kids of her own. My kids, as long as my kids are good, I'm good. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? At the
That's
end of the day is, and then it's not just about your kids being good, it's you have to heal, right? You have to find a way, and it goes down to your beginning of life, right? When you're a kid, all these traumas, all these different triggers that we go through, and ask yourself, what is the root cause? Why am I feeling this way? I don't think a lot of people assess themselves. They just like go off the handle, without thinking. Like, why am I feeling this? Why am I sad? Why am I angry? What's the real cause? Because there's a cause behind it.
Yeah.
There's a root cause.
Yeah.
And it's not the person, it's not the other, it's you.
It's,
It's within us,
yeah. I
it's the
agree.
demons that we have to fight all the time. So that's just my soapbox. But anyway.
I love it. Oh yeah. I like your analogy. I like how you think. I love it. I do.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I like that question though. So
Yeah. We have a lot of topics that we talk about, like crazy topics.
okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind joining you guys one day.
Of
um,
course.
so do you like the virtual or in-person platform, and why?
At first, I did not like the virtual.
Oh,
Um, I I like in person better. I like to feel your energy in person. Like you can feel a person's energy like on FaceTime, but it's different when you're really looking at me and you're talking to me and we're just conversating off camera before the cameras come on. Um,
right.
I'm just adapting to virtual. I really do like sit down interviews.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's I think there's a comfort level to it.
Yeah.
You can have your glass of tea or coffee or beverage or whatever and just
Mm,
chill. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I get nervous when I interview though. Like definitely. Or if I'm interviewing someone or getting interviewed, I definitely get nervous.
oh wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, in the beginning of this, I was, but
Now
it's
you used to it.
it's one of those things like working out or brushing your teeth in the morning and
Yeah.
evening. So it becomes part of you. Um,
Got
and my thing about it, I would tell people, is to do more live, like go on live, IG live or Facebook live, or uh, even video record yourself constantly. So you're like talking to the camera, but you're pretending you're talking to people. If that makes sense.
you. Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, that's a good advice. How long
Ha-
you been doing podcasting?
So it's funny because I started about a couple of years ago in 2021,
Okay.
and it started with like topic stuff, topic discussion, but then I got into the whole interviewing, and I learned a thing or two. But I think when you, it's just like practicing going out for a sport and you're practicing the sport. It's the same thing in everything you do. I think it's practice and repetition is the mother of skills. So as long as you keep repeating yourself, it's yeah, it's just like what do you call it? Subtraction, addition,
Yeah.
math, really.
Yeah. 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 I get you. It's all
Yeah.
about repetition. Yeah.
Yeah, and affirmations. I can talk all day about it. Like affirmations and meditation, definitely meditation in the morning. That's what
Yeah.
I do.
And I
So
believe patience. I believe that the tongue is the most powerful thing. Whatever you say will happen. You just have to stay focused and just be determined, like you said.
yes, I love it, and I love people. I love talking. I know, and the funny thing is, when I was growing up, my dad, may he rest in peace, but he used to say, "You know what?" And I'm like, "What, Dad?" And he's like, "You talk too much."
Wow. Pops was Pops was straightforward.
Yeah, he's like, "You talk too much," and I was like, oh, "Okay," but I'll just laugh it off. I didn't take it personally. He's
Like,
a
yeah.
joke. He's a joker. Um, okay, moving on to the next question.
Okay, let's go.
Think back to a situation, right,
Okay.
when it was difficult to meet a project deadline. What did you learn from that experience?
Is that like when it comes to podcasting or just
It could be anything really. Could be podcasting. It could be maybe you have like a music to come out, or I don't know, whatever
um,
you think.
I would say podcast. Okay, I'll use podcasting. I would say that you as a podcaster, a content creator, everything is like you have to post all the time. Like you have to post. And actually it happened yesterday. December 1st, I edited a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Mhm.
um to drop December 5th at 6 p.m. You know, when you go on YouTube, you can schedule your interviews or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So everybody's hitting me like, it's not on there. What's going on? What's going on? So I'm looking and it showed deleted. I guess I accidentally deleted it. And by the time I got home, it was like 7:30. And I was just angry and devastated. But like you said, sometimes you just have to let life just, like, you can't worry about the small things. Like, it's like
Mhm.
it's okay, because I'm the person that I worry about. Well, I used to. I'm stepping back now, and I'm trying my best to just let the small things be the small things. Let it go and let God.
Yeah.
So I was angry, but I had to relax, regroup,
Mhm.
meditate, and say it's okay. When I get home, I'll just drop it. It's okay. If I didn't meet the deadline, it's fine. So I ended up dropping it around 7:38, and that
Mhm.
never happened to me before. But that obstacle is like, you can't let, like you said, you can't let little things get to you. Sometimes life just lifes, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And and so this is another thing, because sometimes when I go on my walk, I'll go live and I'll just talk about different topics. But one thing I was saying early on is, you know, you have to be kind to yourself, right? We're so kind, we're so thoughtful with others, for others. So we treat others great, right? But we don't treat ourselves, our spirit, great.
Yeah,
So
agree.
we have to love ourselves more to say, self, it's okay. It's kind of like giving yourself, like your kid, a pat on the back, right?
Yes.
And it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And to be quite honest with you, sometimes we're just humans. We're just human, right? We're not
Yeah.
perfect. We're not
We are
perfect.
not
So
perfect. We are definitely not perfect. We are literally just humans figuring it out every day.
yeah, yeah. So well, knock on wood, it's not the end of the world, and they'll get their episode. That's the way I look at it.
Right. Where's
And
some wood at?
look,
Knock on it. Knock on it.
look, and they still gonna come back for more episodes because your podcast is so juicy that they want to see what's going on next.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I
yeah,
truly do.
you are good. You are good. Um, so share an experience, right? Illustrating how your communication style makes you an effective podcaster.
I feel like I do what a lot of podcasters don't do anymore, and that's research. Um, no disrespect to any podcasters. I actually research. I don't do a questionnaire. I don't ask nothing. I go on your page and I find things. If you're an artist, I go and listen to your music. And if I hear something like, why would he say that? I'll talk about it. So a lot of artists that I've interviewed, they say the same thing. Like, that's what makes me different from people, because I actually do interview. I actually do research.
Yeah. That's so cool. We're the same. That's funny because I'll be posting their music, what I'm saying, and then talk about it because it shows that you actually like to podcast, one, and two, you actually like the music that the person is singing or
Yeah.
producing,
Hmm.
you know. And my thing is this, like, if you don't like, and Mr. Vega and I, we were talking about this, right? If you're just doing it to get the numbers, or you're just doing it because everybody's doing it, why are you even doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't
And
know if
that
I'm
what
making any sense.
bothers, no, I without you saying it, I get what you're saying. It's like a lot of people just put out content just to put out, and they don't have a focus. Sometimes you can really look on a person's page and just know exactly what they're doing. Like, oh, this person is really a creator. This person is really a content creator. This person is really a comedian or a rapper. But
Yeah.
then you have others that is probably a rapper, but there's just all over the place. And it's like, what are you doing? Stuff
No, that I mean,
out
if
there.
you, yeah, the way I look at it is time is so valuable. Like, why waste your time on doing something that you wholeheartedly don't want to do? That's
Or
just my
there
take.
are, I feel like some people, they want to do it, but they might be scared.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's scared. I don't know if you get like people that's in your comments that might say something negative. People don't like negative feedback. I embrace it.
Mm.
So
Mm.
there's a lot of people that don't post a lot. So you might think like, oh, they're bullshitting, they're not posting. It's a lot of people that like, oh, I put this music out and Timmy said that I was trash. Now I feel some type of way. I'm not gonna put no music.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is what I say. Timmy, don't pay your light bill.
Hey, amen. Timmy don't pay nothing in this household.
Look, Timmy gonna have to watch me blow up.
Yeah. And then he's gonna watch me pay everything in my bigger house.
Right, exactly. And it's the thing about it is, we are so, I guess, being human, we want that validation from others, which, okay, great, right? So
Hmm.
you take things with a grain of salt, but that don't mean that your content is trash, or whatever you're doing is
Agree.
trash. you know
Agree.
you do what you do. You do
Agree.
what you enjoy and what you love, and your tribe, that's my thing, your tribe will come. Whoever loves your stuff will come, trust me on that.
And I'm okay if two people love my stuff. I'm okay with it. At least
Hmm.
somebody is showing me support. Today I can
Hmm.
get 2 views, tomorrow I can get 2,000 views. But the same two people will always love my views. So
Hmm.
I want to shout out Tommy Flats. He's one of my biggest supporters. He's from Kentucky, I believe. And
Okay.
he shows me so much love when I'm tired and I don't want to drop something today. He'll have a good day. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. I'm
Oh,
motivated. And then that motivates me to drop more content.
yeah, yeah. See, there we go. Shout out to him. Look,
Yeah,
we
shout out to
we
Tommy Flats.
that's right. We got to keep this rolling.
Hmm.
So, how do you stay motivated? Speaking about content, how do you stay motivated in producing new content?
Like I said, I have a group of people that we really talk about everyday real life things.
Yeah.
And we just amongst us girls, we just come up with topics and they're Jamie, I want to know this. And we have a guy, his name is Damo, and he
Hmm.
gives great advice or
Wow.
let us look at it from a man's point of view. So they'll be like, I have a question so you can ask Damo. And we just like you and I, we're having a conversation and you probably want to know something and I'll write it
Hmm.
down and we'll talk about it. Or
Oh,
if I see another podcast show and they asking a interesting question or
uh-huh.
a topic, I would write it down and we'll discuss it as well.
Oh, that's so dope. That's so dope.
Yeah.
Remind me about something after the show. It's about women's empowerment stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, I have to. I'll let you know more details on that.
Yeah.
Um, so, what is one important lesson that you've learned in becoming a podcaster?
Um, do not take things at heart. Take it
Mm,
with a salt of grain, because I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm going to interview, like you said, okay, you was working with me and I appreciate you, and you pushed back your time for me, and again I appreciate you, but you didn't have to do that, but you did, right? So let's just say we were supposed to interview at 6 and you came up with the questions and you took your time, and you have kids, you have your own life, and you did interviews, and I didn't even tell you that I couldn't make it, and I just don't show up to this live. Like that's what I've learned, to have patience and to know that
Mhm.
these people might come and these people might not come. I had a girl that would blowing my DM up. I want to get on your
Mm,
podcast. I want you to interview me. I want you to interview me. So I took the
yeah.
time out to do my due diligence and do research on her.
Mhm.
And she didn't even have the decency to tell me, I'm sorry, I can't make it.
Mm. Look, I have the same story, so
Yeah.
I get it. But on the flip side, right? On the flip side, uh, God forbid anything happened. So there was one day that my daughter had an allergic reaction to
Okay.
tree nuts, right? And I had a show, um, and I had to rush her to the ER, you know, because I mean she, yeah, it was scary, and
Okay.
I had to reschedule the music artist, and he understood, you know what I'm saying? So at one point, yeah, I get it because like I had a few people that just ghosted, didn't say anything, did you know?
The disrespect. At least you had common courtesy. Hey, my daughter is blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's respectful.
yeah,
Versus you just, I mean, yeah, I would have, because that would have been the last thing on my mind, because that's my kid. But you still took the time out of your busy life dealing with your
yeah.
kid to tell that person, "Hey, I'm sorry I can't make it."
We'll
So,
reschedule, and we did. You know, it was a dope interview,
oh, okay.
but yeah, like I wish that it was perfect, and yeah, it is probably not gonna be the last, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that we just have to go through
Yeah, yeah.
in this space. But if you were producing content, right, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't producing content,
Yeah.
I would um I would be working, just
Okay.
working less, interacting on my phone,
Mhm.
because I have an iPhone and it tells you like how long you've been on your phone.
Yeah.
And before I've been doing, like, before I took this serious and went full throttle in August, I rarely picked up my phone. I was rarely on Instagram. If you see, uh as a content creator, numbers matter to people, right? It doesn't matter to me. I would just post and go. I didn't care. Like, I would just post one thing this week, another thing next week. Now it's like I'm always on my phone, and it's like, you've been on your phone for this amount of hours. You've been on your phone, and it's not even me on the shade room. It's me just posting content from
Uh-huh.
YouTube to Instagram to the podcast page to my personal to Twitter, yeah, to TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But the funny thing around, I'm laughing because on the algorithm, you'll probably get like different streaks, right? They'll give you like this cute, hey, you have 500 views or whatever for this reel, or uh, so at least you get some type of positive feedback, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the least, like, hey, you got 5,000. Like, thank you, but yeah, I'm gaining carpal tunnel doing. Yeah, 5,000.
That is hilarious. Um, Speaking about being on the net, how has the internet and social media influenced your career or podcasting?
It influenced it a major way.
Mm,
Especially August Fest.
mhm.
It was so many artists there, and I literally just was interviewing different artists, and they was reposting my stuff, and other artists wanted to collab with me or wanted me to interview them.
Mhm.
And there's a guy named Dijon Paul. He does LA Rap Report Card. I think he does Detroit Report Card. He's on
Oh
No
wow.
Jumper. Yeah,